We're live. I am looking forward to hanging out with you guys on this fantastic Christmas Eve. It's Christmas. Hey, baby. Merry Christmas, baby. How are you? Uh-oh. Get your feet together. Get your head up off the floor. So thank you, babe. So we do have a special guest today. They're not yet in the green room, so I hope that everything works out. Pacific time to Eastern time is sometimes a difficult.
3 hours is 3 hours.
It's a difficult shift to make. So hopefully, prayerfully, he will get it.
I'm in Australia right now, and it's always a challenge. They're like 8 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had the UK, and I was 12 hours. We were a day apart. I was yesterday in all of the meetings. I was yesterday.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I didn't get the whole time I was on that contract, I didn't get any holidays off because our holidays didn't fall on the same day. Mm-hmm. This is crazy. So, hey, good morning, Dr. Deborah. You gotta fix the studio there.
Okay. So today is actually Christmas Eve, and that's an important day for the world. It's also my mother's birthday. Okay. Today is my mother, Miss Christine Harrington, gave birth to me.
Oh, I guess this is in the green room. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Woo, good morning. Hope you guys coffee. So yeah, it's her birthday, not to be confused with Christmas Eve and not to be combined in any way with Christmas Day. That is a note to everybody who's got a holiday birthday. You do not want your freaking birthday to be squished in together.
My mother has had great consternation for that for her whole life, because her whole life that's been the case.
And I get it.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and it's so easy to do.
I get it. I definitely get it.
Birthday and your Christmas present.
Yeah.
Okay? She's always thought that was unfair, but that's been her lot in life. Right before I came upstairs just now, I was downstairs and I had my breakfast, and I just was looking for something to watch entertaining on YouTube, and I ran across a video from Entrepreneur City Live event that was held in June of 2019. Okay, a year and a half ago. Mm-hmm. And it said 45 minutes. I was thinking I was going to fast forward to my part of it.
Right, because I was about to say you were a presenter at that event.
I was the featured presenter at that event. Yes, one of the featured presenters. And so when I clicked start, Lisa had the mic in her hand, and she gave a phenomenal introduction to her.
As I am often want to do.
She gave a great introduction. And I was watching her introduction of her husband because I was about to bring it. She gave a great job. She got the audience. She put them in the right place. She warmed up my stove, so to speak. You know, as a speaker, she got the room ready for me. And she was really, really good. And then I came on and I was awesome.
Absolutely.
I rocked it.
Let me tell you, that's something speaker for those of you who aspire to be speakers, you need to understand the importance of warming that stage. Yeah. And if you don't have an MC that's going to warm the stage for you, you got to learn how to do it for yourself.
Well, that's a challenge in speaking circles. I'll tell you this too, because oftentimes whoever was the facilitator of the event is going to be the one to introduce you.
Absolutely.
And they're not always skilled at that, but it's okay. It's not a showstopper. If they're not good at, okay, here's this guy. He's written a book, and the book is named such and such. Please come welcome to the stage. Okay, great. Now that stage is cold. That means that speaker is going to have to take the time to warm his audience up so they can receive his message, because they can't receive it otherwise.
Yeah, you can't receive it. Just like you can't fry an egg on a cold skillet.
That's right.
Right? You cannot fry an egg on a cold skillet. And this was actually something I learned back in seminary. My Bishop Saunders, shout out to Bishop Saunders, he was serious about a cold stage. Do not put him on no cold stage, and do not put none of his ministers up on a cold stage. Because if they have to warm that stage up, let me tell you about what's the saying? I won't be before you long. You're getting ready to be punished. You're getting ready to be punished.
So you got to get the room.
He's got to get the room back, baby. If he has to warm that stage for himself, honey, you're going to get about 4 I won't be before you long.
Now, we do have a topic today. Now, last night, as I was preparing myself to retire for the evening, I was also on YouTube looking for something. Okay, what do I need to listen to or watch? As I shaved last night because I was looking like Grizzly Adams.
Let me say this real quick while you
Sure.
do that. If you guys are having a place where you just need a little bit more empowerment duo, you need something to go to sleep with, you can catch us either on our podcast or on YouTube. So make sure you check us out there, and the links are in the description.
Okay, so I ran across new you, new year, new you. Okay, because you're gonna start seeing all that all the time. But this was Tony Robbins about how to start your 2021 right. Okay, Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins. Now, all of us have heard of him before. We've heard his stuff before, so I decided to click on it. And Tony Robbins has been in this game for 30 years.
Yep.
And I've never heard him better. He was awesome last night.
Okay.
I sent you the link. He was amazing. He was great. But he did one thing, like in the first third of his talk. He says, now, look, this is going to sound corny, but this is just this 3-word formula will greatly improve your whole life.
How about that?
3 words. If you'll just embrace these 3 words, your whole life will improve. And this is what we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 words that he recognized sounded corny. He knows they sound corny.
It's okay.
But they are the secret to improving all areas of life.
And you know, sometimes cliche is just that. Yeah. It became a cliche because it was right. So
much truth in it.
Right.
Here's the 3 words. Raise
your standards.
If you raise your standards, your whole life will improve. Fly first class. Raise your standards in what you will tolerate. Raise your standards in what you're willing to do, where you're willing to go. He tells the story of Michael Jordan late in his career was still at the top of his game and still working out harder than everyone else. And he asked them, why do you still work out harder than everyone else? You know, you've already set all the records. He says, I'm not trying to set records. I'm playing to my standard.
That's right.
Same thing with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant would practice 2 hours before practice started. Okay, why? Because he had established a standard that he wanted to stay within.
The opposite of which is resting on your laurels.
Resting on your laurels or trying to be average. Now, people hate to hear when we say that. They hate when we say you're trying to be average.
Trying to be average.
But when you're not trying to excel, when you're trying to be as good as the ones next to you or around you, you are attempting on purpose to stay like everybody else, which is meaning you're trying to be average.
Absolutely. And you know what? Trying to be average is almost the crabs in the barrel mentality. Yeah. Because what is the first thing that happens the moment that someone gets that promotion and they buy themselves a new suit? Or the moment that someone passes on one opportunity to take something a little bit better? Oh, you think you all that now? Well, I'm sorry. Maybe you should try some. Care for a sip? You can be all that too. It really is okay to raise your standards. It really is okay to change your language. It really is okay to become who it is that you need to be in order to accomplish the things that have been placed in you to accomplish.
You know, that whole concept, that crabs in a barrel, crabs in a box. Crabs are not known to be very intelligent creatures, okay? Tiny
They're
brains.
Delicious, though.
They're delicious, but they're not smart, okay? They're just instinctual, and they do what they're supposed to do. Okay? Yes. That's what they are. But if you've ever seen it, I've seen this happen before. You put crabs in a box, they realize they're captured. They don't want to be in the box, okay? They're moving around, okay? And if one of the crabs figures out a way to climb up the other box, any other crab that sees this one climbing out of the box, they race over and grab him and pull him back down. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And it happens over and over again. If another crab sees one about to get out of the box or about to escape, they have to do it. They feel like, I can't let him escape and I'll still be here.
Exactly. Good morning, Brianna. Good morning, Vivian. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning, Dr.
Somebody
Deborah.
else's birthday too?
Dr. Deborah says today is my ex-husband's birthday, and he always used to remind me that he wanted separate celebrations. Absolutely, absolutely. The only thing worse than having a birthday on a holiday is having a birthday right after the biggest holiday of the year. And nobody had no money left for my birthday, and the first set of bills came in from Christmas when my birthday rolled around.
His birthday is 3 weeks after Christmas. And yeah, that's like perfect timing to not have any money.
Perfect timing to get nothing, but it's okay. We're gonna make it happen anyway.
Yes. What happens when you raise your standards, Miss Vivian? That's right. Now we have a guest today.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I cannot wait because I love in his title, aside from life coach and man coach, which are our kind of people, right? Because we love coaches. We love coaches. He had a relationship wizard.
Relationship wizard.
I love it.
Y'all gonna get to be featured. Now, he's gonna come on in 21 minutes. He's a relationship wizard, and he's already catching you guys talk right now. He's in the green room.
Absolutely.
He looks handsome right now.
At dark 30 in the morning.
And he's got his face decorated with a smile.
Which is always good. I'm going to tell you, take a moment now, if you would, to make sure that we continue to build. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you leave some comments. And please, please, please share, because sharing is caring. And we can't wait to connect you with our new guest as soon as possible.
I got to say this. We're about to do our greeting songs, but I am so happy that Miss Vivian chose to type out the words, raise my standards.
Yes.
I'm happy about that, because if we on purpose raise our standards in the way we dress, for example, a couple of minutes before the show started, I came in this room with a sweatshirt on.
Really? Really, Brian?
You saw.
You're going to wear a sweatshirt, and I have on a sparkly dress.
I had on a sweatshirt, and I was about to say, because she says, "Oh no, you're not wearing the sweatshirt in the show. Okay, you got to go put on something. But I don't have nothing ready. Go put on something. Put on one of the sweaters or something. Okay." And she was right. She's right, because 90% of us is covered up on this show. So what we wear does matter. Only skin you see is our face and hands. That's it. Neck a little bit, Melissa. So you see our clothes. So that clothes matter.
But the clothes don't only matter because other people can see them. They matter because of how you feel when you have them on.
That's just as important.
It really is, because I can tell the productivity between getting up, working in my robe, which I never do, not ever. Someone asked me, someone was talking about makeup this year, and I hardly ever wear makeup because we got to wear these masks. I have on makeup under my mask every single day. Every single day, because it's part of my skincare routine. It's part of my personal ego routine, if nothing else. When I look in the mirror, and it's also part of my me time. When I am in the mirror putting on my makeup, I am reminding myself that I'm still here, and I better carpe diem, that I'm still here today, and I can influence somebody else's choices today. And also, you guys know that I am a staunch advocate of loving the body that you're in. As a plus size diva over the age of 50, I also feel like that I have to kind of carry that banner. You know what I mean? I want my sisters to know, you look, have a little couple of extra cake pounds, baby, but still wrap it up and make it look gorgeous, okay? That is important. You got to give me some light, babe.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's now 9:12. Now, those of you, let's say this is your first time on the show. Buckle up, okay? Because buckle up, because this show has been going since October of 2016. And some of these amazing people that chose to show up with us, even on Christmas Eve, they chose to show up with us. They've been rocking with us for years. And some of them are consistent contributors. And we like to thank them with our greeting songs. And just bear with us. Some people have greeting logos. Some people have actually greeting jingles. Like first up is Miss Brittany Thomas. She actually has a greeting song. And it goes a little something like this.
It's Brittany, it's Brittany, it's Brittany, Brittany Thomas.
It's Brittany, it's Brittany, it's Brittany, Brittany.
It's your time.
That's right.
It's your time. Yeah.
I love that when we sing that in Brittany Thomas song, because it is her time.
It is her time. Shout out to the author of Living My Blessed Life with cerebral palsy, our fantastic author, one of our authors of the year. We got so many authors this year that we have been able to publish through Empowerment Publishing and Multimedia. And now not only publishing authors, but also having shifted so many people into doing their virtual book launches and book tours and helping them to expand their reach. I'm excited. I'm so excited.
You should be.
I'm so excited.
You have a part to play in those.
Absolutely. It's Dr. Deborah, baby.
Dr. Deborah is one of our friends.
Dr. Deborah, healing and deliverance coach and Sacred Stone Master. Hey, Dr. Deborah. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you. Oh, Brianna's here.
Bree is here. You can't play with my Bree.
Nope.
Don't try to play her out. Good morning, Bree. How you doing?
Brianna, I had the opportunity yesterday to hang out with Miss Summer.
Yes, we can, because I guess you say what can make me feel this way.
Come on now.
Summer.
Talking about summer.
Not
to be outdone, I also had a momentary, because Summer said, this is my conference call. She was not really having it. But for 1 second, I got to say hello to Violet Sky.
Good morning to y'all. Miss Vivian is here. Miss Vivian is here.
Absolutely, Miss Vivian. Okay, come on. Vivian Reed is here. Vivian Reed is here, and now the show can go on. We are here in our home office, in the home studio right now, hanging out with you guys. We have an amazing guest for you in the next 15 minutes, and we are looking forward to all that we get to do to close out this year right here at home. Many of you are working from home, and it's a little bit cramped or uncomfortable, or maybe you wish you had a man cave or a she shed, but you know what? If you are ready to get your new home, your next home, or your forever home, reach out to Brenda Bookert Bull. She's the real estate agent who is all heart
and no bull.
Brenda Booker Bull can help you to navigate the real estate journey, even virtually in today's timeout environment. Give her a call at 704-649-7686 because
it's tricky to buy a home or sell a home. Don't do it alone. Choose Brenda.
Hey, choose Brenda. It's tricky to buy a home, to sell a home. Don't do it alone. Choose Brenda. Hey, choose Brenda. I ran out of air on that one.
That is our girl. Again, we so appreciate you guys being with us the day before a big holiday. That looked like our girl Beverly is here.
Yes.
And Beverly is on the show. Good morning, Beverly. How you doing?
Good morning, Beverly. I think Bill's here.
Says, thank you, something. Thank you, Mona Lisa, for sharing my video yesterday.
Guess what? It's always my pleasure to share you guys stuff. You know why? It doesn't cost me anything. Now, I'm not on Facebook a very long during the day because I actually set times for when I check my email, when I do my Facebooking, all those things. But when I pop on and I see you guys doing something, I'm sharing it because you guys do the same thing for us. And I also know that those of you guys who are connected to us are usually sharing some good stuff. Brittany has been consistent with creating her videos to continue to attract attention to her book, I'm Living My Blessed Life. And I am always excited about the motivation and inspiration that she's providing to people. So shout out to you, Brittany. I'm glad of it. Bill is here, babe.
I see. William Brown says, good morning, family. And good morning to our friend Bill. Nobody thinks like him still. We love him so, and we always will. Our friend Bill. Good morning to our friend Bill.
Good morning, Bill. Happy today is really pulling it together. I'm excited to be on the show next week, and I am looking forward to more one-word conversations with William Brown. Good morning. Hello, happy people from Beverly. Thank you so much. Vivian says, Lisa always looks fabulous. Well, thank you, darling. And Brian, you always
does too. Always dressed nicely. Thank you very much.
Yay.
Our girl Lynette is here. She says, hey, family. And
hey, Uncle Lynette.
At this table we sit.
Making it legit.
Because when Lynette hits the show, Good morning, Lynette. Hope you're having a good holiday.
Today we're talking about raise your
standards.
Now, what can that mean for you?
Oh
What can you do to raise your
want to
standards?
talk about that.
Absolutely. Good morning, Karinder.
Good morning, Mr. Karinder Singh, our world traveler. You know, raising your standards, the 3-word solution to greatly improve all areas of your life. Tony Robbins even went on to we even have a standard for how much we weigh. Okay, we have standards. If you raise your standard, he did this example. Let's on the recording. He says, "Is there anybody here that works out more than 5 times a week? 5 or more times a week? Do you work out? If you work out 5 or more times a week, stand up." And he has all of them stand up. Now, do these people that are standing up, do they look like they work out 5 times or more a week? And he said, yeah. And everybody says, yes, they do, because it shows on you if you work out that much.
Yes, and it shows when you don't.
And it shows when you don't. Yes. Happy holidays to you. We love you as well.
So what can you do to raise your standards, right? This is actually the season when everybody fake raises their standards, right?
Why did you go?
Come on now, come on, tell the truth and shame the devil.
Fake raising their standards.
You know you're gonna fake raise your standards. You got your fake goals for 2021.
Fake goals?
They're fake,
but my goals are for real this time.
They're not for real. They're for real for the moment.
15.
Right, it's that long. It's that long. Raising your standards means putting
standards. Yeah,
it means that you're putting you're going to put some reinforcements on what you do, right? If you're raising your standards on how you travel, you're going to add some extra money to when you buy your ticket. You're going to go first class. If you're going to raise your standards this year, you got to give me light, babe. Okay. There you go.
Traveling first class versus traveling coach. It might cost you $80 or $100 more to travel first class versus coach, maybe $120 more to travel first class versus traveling coach. But once you're on the plane first, you know where that money went. Once you get in your comfortable chair, you know where that money went.
When you get to sit down and they hand you a glass of champagne, you know where that money went. So, but raising your standards in your personal life, and I mean in your everyday, is you may have decided, okay, I'm going to be a coach this year. You may decide I'm going to get a certification. That's raising your standard. You may decide I'm going to get a coach to help me build a business structure so that I'm not just getting these low rent clients or no pay clients, or having to work my business on the side. I'm actually going to get somebody to work with me, and guess what? I'm going to have to pay them, because how I get paid is in direct proportion to how much I'm willing to invest in myself and my business, right? So you have to
make sure they heard that.
Raise your standards there, because how much you're able to earn is in direct proportion to how much you are willing to invest in your business.
You can't get around it. You just can't. We've learned so much and learned as much as well. You're going to have to invest in yourself.
Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, Cynthia. Cynthia Murray.
Come on.
I've got that sister
with me.
Good morning,
Good
Cynthia.
morning,
Cynthia Murray. Can you give us an example of how you could, in your world, raise your standards in some way? And I really believe, Lisa, and I appreciate everything you just said. What about the little things that we can do to raise our standards and the quality of food that we choose to eat?
Yes, absolutely.
The quality of it.
Absolutely. Dr. Deborah says, I've raised my standards in my business model. Absolutely. Happy holidays to you, Cynthia. Raising your standards sometimes requires a step back so that you can evaluate what needs to change. That's what a lot of the participants in the guided journey within have done. And I've gotten so much feedback talking about my vision raised up. My model is going to be awesome. My 2021 is actually going to happen, because they're not rushing to the fun part. Understand, rushing to the fun part is glue sticks, scissors, and pictures, right? That's the fun part. But if you haven't tapped into what's kept you from the manifestation of those things over time, if you haven't tapped into, you got to keep yourself up, because you're affecting the light. This chocolate vanilla lighting is difficult. Y'all gotta understand. There we go. He got it. Thank you, baby.
You gotta be more focused on me.
Yes, because you're sucking up all the light. I am the light, and he's absorbing the light. But if you haven't evaluated why you did not accomplish something, then you will not have successfully identified what you really need to do to accomplish it. Sometimes you can't do that by yourself. That's why I'm glad we got our coach here. We got
Coach going to be live with us in 6 minutes,
absolutely, y'all. 6 minutes, Dougie. Fresh on.
In 6 minutes, we're going to bring a face that some of you guys have never seen before. And some of you have probably.
And we're looking forward to that. But understand that sometimes it takes someone from the outside looking in to help you see, okay, this is a pattern of behavior that has been counterproductive over all this time. And you say you're going to do something different, but you got the same plan.
Part of the title for our guest, I love it, is Relationship Wizard.
I love it. I love that. I love it. So listen, tell us what you're doing to raise your standards, or what you could do to raise your standards for 2021.
Dr. Deborah says, I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay. I have raised my standards in my business model. Okay, we did get that. That's right. Think about how you raise your standards in the way you dress, the way you walk, where you're willing to go. I wouldn't be caught dead in a place like that, right?
Oh, come on.
That's an example of you have standards.
That's right.
So you wouldn't be caught there.
Brittany has some standards. She says, I'm raising my standards in my friendships and relationships. I'm not settling anymore.
Right.
That is an important assessment.
I've heard some women say things like, I like whoever likes me. Okay.
Honey, you can have a whole bucket full of that. Because I don't want it.
Whoever likes her is who she likes back.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I think she's worth more than that. Absolutely. Anyone who says
like but that. Here's the other thing: raising your standards. When you identify what you want, raising your standards means that you're also deciding, I'm going to become who I need to become to get that.
Now, when you do raise your standards, you please understand now, sometimes that comes with some chastising and some arrows thrown at you. Oh, you think you better than us, or you trying to leave us, or you've changed. That's another one that's popular.
I wish that you all would reprogram you've changed into a compliment in your mind. Reprogram it. Oh, you've changed. Thank you. That was the objective.
That's right.
I appreciate it. That was exactly what I was striving to do. Feel free to have some. There's plenty left. You can change too.
Stand-up comedian Robin Harris, who's no longer with us, he says, people, because he was doing a comedy special, he says, people in his neighborhood says, hey, Robin, if you make a lot of money, you going to change? He goes, you got that going right up and change. I make a lot of money. What am I stay around here for?
Exactly. Now, Beverly says my why has to be bigger than my because. So the because won't be used as an excuse. Raising my standards starts with a changed mindset. Come on now.
Get away from it. Mindset.
It really is. So much of it is mindset. And sometimes
how you choose to think, how you put thoughts together.
And most of the times you can't change your mindset by yourself. No, I need people to understand that, because you got all of these cheerleaders and naysayers and voices in your head that are conflicting and contradicting. And you need someone to be the voice that says, really?
I'm gonna tell you another reason.
Really? That's what you thought?
You can't do it by yourself because you've gotten so good at defending yourself from others and defending yourself from yourself. When you look in the mirror, you don't see anybody with any flaws. You see old friend, okay, most of the time.
Absolutely.
That's why it's so hard to change ourselves by ourselves. It's really, really difficult. I don't know if it can be done, really. You need help. All of us need help. Someone that we respect, maybe someone that we love. Okay, but we need help to change our standards. Man, our guest is going to be here in 3 minutes, y'all. Just 3 minutes. Okay, yep.
Brittany said, that's right. I'm becoming who I need to be to receive what it is that I want and desire. Come on, Brittany. Kelly says, I am raising my standards with myself. Understanding that change is the only constant, so I choose to change and grow every day. I am out the matrix.
There's a thought process. You don't have to worry about change because it's going to keep happening. You don't got to concern yourself thinking about, is things going to change or are things going to change? Yes, they will.
Melissa's here, and Melissa says, Merry Christmas Eve. I'm sorry I slept in. Honey, you can sleep in. You haven't had to punch a clock. But we appreciate it when you can hear.
Bum, 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 bum. Melissa's home. Now it's time for us to sing our song. Melissa's home. I had to mute that a little bit because I don't have any water in the room with me right now. And our guest is about to be here in a minute and a half. So
yes, now Vivian said that is very true. Those voices are trouble. Those voices are made up of messages that you believed from your youth,
trying to protect yourself.
trying to protect you. Those messages are your self conditioning. That you don't need all of that. They're trying to protect you from disappointment. You don't need all of that. You don't even need all of that.
We're good right here. We got a roof over our heads. Don't try to get a nicer place. Don't try to move. Don't try to get a better place of work or new or own your own business. Don't even try.
But unfortunately, they are counterintuitive to who and what it is that you are intended to be.
Now, initially, every good thing that you decide to do, initially, your brain's not going to want to do it.
Nope. Yes.
You decide to write a book, your brain doesn't want to. Okay. You decide to open up something, your brain doesn't want to. So it's going to try to stop you. Okay.
Melissa said, I sent you both the Coquito flashback video from when you dropped off the Coquito at my house last Christmas.
Fun time.
It was fun, but honey, Brian didn't let no Coquito out this house this year. Dr. Deborah, you were lucky. Because Brian has been, you made Coquito? Go.
Dr. Deborah says, even my why has been raised. What I thought was my why was actually a limiting belief. Wow. So my Christmas read is Discovering Your Why by Lisa Santiago McNeill. It's an amazing book. It's now 9:30, y'all. Oh, it's time for our guest to come on.
It's time. Okay. I'm so excited to bring our special guest. We love hanging out with coaches because we know that they come with wisdom and love to share with our audience. So I want to introduce to some and present to others,
Mr. Kevin O'Connor.
Hey,
what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. I've been enjoying your show. I've been smiling for the last 30 minutes.
We are excited to have you, and we got questions for you. But before we launch into it, please, sir, take some time to introduce yourself however you would like.
Well, probably the first thing that comes to mind right now is that your mother and I have something in common. Her birthday's today. Mine is on the 28th.
Right there.
So
yay.
When you said, no, she's not Christmas Eve. No, she's not Christmas. This is her birthday today. Well, I can remember on the 28th thinking to myself, like, why were there 3 presents under the tree for me and 4 for my brothers and sisters? And then there's a present for my birthday. And I used to tease my mom and I said, did you hold that back so that I would have one on my birthday? But the challenge with birthdays between Christmas and New Year's, not only, is there like, oh, you're an afterthought, but the other thing is that when you go back to school, nobody knows that you had a birthday. There was no birthday. I don't think I ever had a birthday party. It was just like, what? Oh, let's pull out some cake from somewhere from the supermarket and slide a couple candles on it. And then you go to school and everybody's like, got a great Christmas. We did this. And it was like, I had a birthday.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
always on Christmas break. Yes, right.
It is.
Steals it from you.
So a little bit about me. I'm a Canadian. I'm in Southern California right now, which is in serious lockdown. And interesting enough, I had COVID about a month ago, 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So I'm post-COVID, and I was going for my run yesterday, which was my first run since I had COVID, and I was thinking like, wow, I feel like I'm a heavy-duty smoker. I mean, I was able to get moving, but so COVID is real, and I'm 59 years of age, and you just got to take care of yourself, and it is real, and it's not fun. And for all people who are like, really, it's just like a heavy duty flu. It's nothing like I've ever had before. I didn't need to go to the hospital or anything, but it was not a lot of fun. So a couple little fun facts about me. I have been an entrepreneur. I have started 12 businesses. I have a management consulting business where I coach primarily women entrepreneurs. And about a year ago, in my life coaching business, which I had just started, I was getting more and more requests for coaching of men. Now, we're talking a little earlier about raising your standards and about average. I was married for 27 years, and I would describe myself as a gold standard average husband. I had average down to a T. So if what somebody wanted to say was like, I was really good at average. I was doing average really well. I'm not married now.
Oh,
It's not
wow.
good enough to do average for yourself. It's not good enough to do average for your partner. What you want to do is exceptional. So I started to raise my standards, and I changed my entire life. I sold my business. I moved. I basically gave away or sold 90% of what I owned, and I rebuilt myself. I looked at my life. I realized that I'd always been overachieving. I'd always been, what's next, and I've done a great job with raising our children, but not so good of a job of raising myself. So I realized I had to go back to school, and I had to sort of learn what it was to be a man and what it was to sort of make a contribution in society. And so the lessons I learned late in life, and I try to translate those into lessons that I can share primarily with men. I say in my Instagram, men come for me for help, and women come to me for help with men, because men are kind of underserviced in the coaching area. Men are expected to know the answers or figure it out themselves, and they're not likely to share those challenges with others. Women often have great community. They have a sisterhood. They have this incredible ability to network and talk and share. Guys are pretty isolated. They're lone wolfing all the time, and so my calling is really to be there for them and to be able to sort of help them get out of their stuff and get into living.
Absolutely.
I've
Absolutely.
got to do a couple of things with you. One is since 2013, twice a month, I host a men's and teenage men's meeting called Male Empowerment Networks. And I have to invite you to one on the first and the third Tuesday.
And they're not at 6 o'clock in the morning for you.
Right.
They're 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it'll be 4 p.m. Pacific Time, I believe. But the reason why I wanted to have it, because you were singing my song there, men do need men, and men tend to cry in the dark. And I will tell you, in the 6-7 years that I've had that, I've seen so many men, in positions where they can't tell their spouse stuff, or they can't tell it to their significant other because that'll make it worse in their household. And they do have a lot of that Superman thing, and we explained that Superman really is a myth. He doesn't exist. He never has existed, but we still try to carry that, and it hurts. A lot of men have a lot of hurt, and the audience, I really want you guys to hear this today, because your man has hurts too that he may not be willing to share with you.
Yeah, and I think that's so true. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I was going to say that, remember, Superman had an alter identity. I mean, he had Clark Kent, and
Right.
So men try to represent them as Superman, but really they're kind of clumsy. They're Clark Kent with the glasses, and they are a very human. And I was talking to a friend yesterday, and I was emphasizing to her that she was talking about how do I share this with my partner, with my husband, and I said, I have to emphasize that your husband's probably more sensitive than you. That
Whoa! And most people aren't ready to hear that.
Your languaging, what you say and how you give him feedback is going to elicit a certain reaction that probably you wouldn't have when you're bombarded with the feedback that you get in your life. Women are very resilient and they take in a lot of information. Men repel. They are moved to defensiveness. They are already wired to protect themselves and their family. So you say the wrong thing, they go into defense and they can't take that information in. And it's not the wrong thing, it's just the way in which it was presented. So I'll give you an example. She had an amazing birthday. She was so excited. He's my client. And she said, he nailed it. And then we spent a couple of extra hours together. He's a surgeon. He came home early. And the next day I said to him, he said, this was great. And the next day I said to him, that's how most people live. And I said, I want to give you some feedback. You know what he heard? He heard,
Why don't you do it all the time?
You don't do this often enough.
Yeah. That's what I would have heard the same thing.
Yeah.
That's how most people live.
Said,
really?
What if you had said to him, that was the most special day in a long time, and I can't wait to have more with you. You are a great man.
Absolutely.
That would have been so much better. I would have took it the same way, man. You are so right.
Absolutely. Good morning, Julie Ray Hammondtree. Thank you for joining us this morning. Good morning, Shanrika.
We're here with our friend, Mr. Kevin O'Connor. He is a, what would you call your title though? Because he had a few things.
Well, I say most of my title is in jest. I say I'm a man coach because immediately people go like, what is that? And I say, I coach men about men's stuff. And men's stuff doesn't just mean stuff about yourself. It means stuff about this man in this world, this man in this relationship, this man as a father, this man as an entrepreneur, this man, you know, as a loving human being. And then
the first man coach we've had on this show, and I'm so excited to meet you.
Thank you.
The first man coach who was titled a man coach, because you got to think about, we've had Sundiata, manhood author, the author of Manhood, right? And then we've had Kelly Little, who is the male transformation. But man coach is a very unique, and he's on here. There he is. Kelly, give me a thumbs up. Hopefully you guys can connect as well, because I really do believe that there is a space necessary. Shanrika says, man coach is a good title. She likes it. So you got a thumbs up there. There really is a space, and I hope that it's a new age awakening, right? Because I am a coach. I'm the coach's coach, and I often work with women. For the first 4 years, it was almost primarily women, helping them to tell their story, helping them to learn how to convert what they've learned in life into something that they can now help others to overcome, helping them to publish their books. But just recently, I want to say in the past year and a half or so, I have started attracting more men. And I think that it's because this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, right? This is the dawning of men deciding, you know what, I can be who I am, and I can accept help, and I can tap into my feelings. And I'm grateful that some of you guys are also taking up the mantle. I'm grateful that my husband is working with men, with male empowerment networks, giving them a place to speak, but you giving them a place to help navigate what they may have uncovered, and help women to also understand how to properly interact with those men.
Dr. Deborah Dunstan said men coaches are definitely needed.
Yes.
Brittany Tom says this is really good. I'm learning some things.
Come on, Kevin. What else you got? What else you got?
Well, I wanted to talk, you know, the reason I chose man coach, and now somebody called me a relationship wizard a couple of weeks ago, and I said, bang, that's on my little profile as well. And all the things I say are really in jest. I mean, I'm like, you know, Canadians are funny. Most of the major comedians in the United States are Canadian. I mean, if you look at Jim Carrey to most of the funny people, they're Canadians. And so Canadians carry a sense of humor because we're in this huge country, which is 30% larger than the United States, and we're 1/10 of the population. And people also don't realize that Toronto is the 4th largest city in North America after LA. The next city after Mexico, New York, LA, Toronto. So it's a big multicultural city in a massive country where 90% of the population live within 100 miles of the US border. So you've got this huge country. So we spend a lot of time driving. And in cold weather, you need a sense of humor. Yeah. So my practice is called Practical Masculinity. And I chose that Practical Masculinity because, you know, there's a lot of books, you know, men don't necessarily process lots of information in a self-help book, but we do take coaching tips pretty well. Somebody's out at a golf course and somebody stands beside them and takes a stance, hold the club this way, you're standing in the batting cage. Somebody gives you a couple pointers. Most men can take that in. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to focus on solution-focused coaching, so that my goal was to give people some real down-to-earth specific things that they can do that would build habits and allow them to sort of step more into their masculine. And so that's why it's called Practical Masculinity. It's never too late to learn.
Absolutely, man. I'm so excited that you picked up that mantle as well. So there might be someone that's on here right now that's listening to you thinking, you know what, man, I would love for him to have a conversation with my husband or my boyfriend or my business partner or my coworker. There might be someone that wants a little more taste of what you have to offer. How would you recommend, or how do you prefer people reach out to you or work with you?
I love it when they come to my Instagram, Practical Masculinity, to send me a direct message. You know, I love direct messages on Instagram.
DM his Instagram, y'all.
And now here's the thing about Instagram. Our generation, our demographic doesn't use it as much. We use Facebook. But I can tell you Instagram's pretty effective. I'm just growing my Instagram. Or you can come to my website and there's a click up button on there where you can send me a private message. So that's practicalmasculinity.net. One of the things that you said earlier about, moving forward into 2021, about sort of leveling up, about raising your standards. There are three things that I think are critical to creating what I call a resilient, harmonious, intimate relationship. And
I'm hoping you'll share them.
These are if you've got a relationship that can withstand things, the loss of a parent, the loss of a child, something going, a loss of a job. If you've got a relationship that's harmonious, so there's a flow to it. I mean, they live their life as if they're singing like the two of you sing all the time. There is a flow, there is a natural harmony. And if there's intimacy, you really can't ask for more in life. The challenge is that people don't know that there are some fundamentals, some building blocks required to get there. And there are three primary ones that I talk about. The first one is responsibility. And when I talk about responsibility, I think about this equation where E, meaning the event, plus R, which stands for either your reaction or your response, equals the outcome. So an event happens, you can choose to react, whoa, and get all wound up, or you can choose to be thoughtful and respond. And depending on which R you choose, you get a different outcome. So there are events in our lives, they're neutral. Events are neutral. It's the meaning we add
that put on it,
the lens we look at those events through. Two people will see two different events and have two different reactions and describe them very differently and have different emotional reactions.
Absolutely.
So when we talk about responsibility, we talk about looking at what can I do that shapes the outcome? So rather than placing blame, rather than sort of judging, you say, what was my role? Even if this event was very upsetting, this person behaved really poorly to you, and you feel somewhat victimized, there's an opportunity for you to process that information and take responsibility for what you learned from that. And then in doing so, you go to, you can shape the outcome. So responsibility is about allowing yourself to be empowered. You're no longer having things happen. We all know people who blame their partner. He never comes home. He does this, she does that. They treat you like this at work. And when you live in that victim space, you're giving all your power up to everybody else.
Right.
You actually go, now what is it that I can learn, or how can I change my response? As soon as you make those decisions and sort of implement that, you're actually going to change the dynamic and you're going to get a different outcome. So we have the power. It's, we talk the law of attraction, manifestation. We have the power. So that's responsibility. When we talk about the next one, it's honesty. This is one we struggle with in society today because we shape our messaging to get a specific outcome. And when we do that, we are often out of integrity.
So responsibility, then honesty.
Yeah, so honesty. We want to have the honesty to be your truth, not necessarily the truth you want others to hear, not the facts. It's like, what's my come from? Somebody talked about earlier about their why. What's my come from? So, why I need to speak honestly in relationship. Your partner should really be exposed to the honest you. And how many times do we feel that our partner's like, kind of flirting, they're skirting around. It's like they're not the full truth. And so honesty.
Because they're considering the other one's feelings and they're not sure how they're going to be able to put this out or how they're going to take it.
I mean, someone told me the other day that I talked to them in coaching and then they didn't follow through. They were really honest. And I said, what was that? She said, well, I just said it because I thought you wanted to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
People pleasing and wanting to make somebody hear it and is stepping away from your truth, which is, why did she say, I want to empower her to use her voice? So she goes, I really can't commit to that now. I'm struggling with it. And then we can talk. And that feeds into the third one, which is vulnerability. Okay. And vulnerability is knowing that you're going to share something with somebody where there is a risk involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Struggle with vulnerability. Now, you have to have a safe space for vulnerability because we all know people who overshare. They tell you everything, and you're like, I'm very uncomfortable with that because
Right.
they haven't ensured it's a safe environment.
Hmm.
But the more vulnerable we are, there's my 6 o'clock in the morning mouth working. The more vulnerable we are, the more that we are able to build connection. Vulnerability leads to connection. So,
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that's a challenge for the men I talk to. That's a
sorry,
challenge. The vulnerability is a challenge for the men
especially
I
for
talk
men.
to. And it seems to me, Kevin, the older the man, the more he has a challenge with vulnerability. Maybe because he's got more practice of hiding
More
himself,
proof.
or more proof that
That
if he's
vulnerability has gotten them
vulnerable,
into
it's
trouble.
going to sting you, okay,
Yeah.
or they'll use it against you.
Yeah.
So they have to protect themselves. But you're suggesting in a healthy relationship, it can be safe enough that you can be vulnerable. Is that right?
Well, yeah, you can be vulnerable. You actually, the more vulnerable you are, the more authentic your relationship. Imagine if you're leading your life in a way in your relationship to get a certain outcome from your partner. I don't want to say that. That'll be upsetting. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. No, I can't. We can't talk about that. That's not actually a real relationship. That's
Wow.
you handling
Wow.
things to get a specific outcome. You're not living your truth.
Right.
Now,
Mm.
what if you spoke your truth and the other person then spoke their truth about how they felt? You'd either get closer or you realize we were never really intended to be there.
Right.
What?
Right.
We
But let
were
me
never.
say, let me speak to this. Let me speak to this on the woman's perspective.
Well, we gotta go ahead, please.
Because, ladies, I need you to understand that if you are in a relationship that you believe is intentional, that should be, and your significant other comes to you in a vulnerable state, you have a responsibility to respond respectfully and to honor that vulnerability. Now, I'm not telling you to mask. I'm not telling you to just take anything, but I'm telling you that you get to handle that as a treasure. Vulnerability is a treasure. When my husband gives me something that I know was a challenge for him to give to me, he's never opened it up to anyone else. He knows that it could be used against him or used to color how the lens wherewith he's judged. That thing becomes a treasure. When I hold that thing in my hand, I hold it with love, care, and conscientiousness. And it is never to be used as a weapon. Not ever.
Kevin, you've been an amazing guest so far. We've got 2 more minutes with you. I wish we had longer time. I do, because I'm getting a lot of value out of it. I'm looking at our relationship. I'm looking at friends of our relationships as you talk. But I want to give you this last minute and a half here to share. What do you want to leave our audience with? What do you want to impart?
You can only have a kind of loving relationship with others that you have with yourself.
Whoa.
Hot dog, Kevin.
Say it one more time.
That was a mic drop minute.
You can only have.
The love you have to give to others is directly related to the love you give yourself.
Wow.
You
Wow.
cannot give more love to others than you have available to yourself. And I know that seems counterintuitive because there are a lot of women who just give, and there's no self-care. But ultimately, there's going to be a challenge at a point in time where they can't give anymore. So if you give yourself as a woman and you're in your feminine and you open yourself to receive from the universe and feel the love, that love multiplies. The more love that you have for yourself, and that's not to be misunderstood. People say, oh, that's selfish. No, that's self-worth. Selfishness is ignoring, what's around you and having a specific agenda that's all about you. Self-worth is making decisions and having a healthy boundaries. So, if I get fed this, look what I have to give others. So
Kevin,
never
I'm gonna have
give
to pause you here because we
your
got
own.
to close out. But can you hang out in the green room for a few more minutes with us?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. We're gonna put you down now.
Thank
Was
you
he
so
not an
much.
amazing
Woo!
guest?
We got some good comments. Shamika says, woo! That was a word right there. It really was.
I think it was.
That moment right there was it. Now, Dr. Deborah goes on to say, yes, because remaining in a victim state can create a soul tie to that limiting belief. Absolutely.
Wow.
Dr. Deborah
That
said,
was amazing
wow,
too.
say that. She got it. He got some preach, Kevin, from Kelly Little. I'm telling you, we're going to have Kevin back.
We would love to have Kevin back. I would love to do a part 2. Would you guys like a part 2 with Kevin?
We're going to have to figure it out. Now, Beverly goes on to say, a teaching man is a sexy man. No disrespect to your wife, Kevin.
Well, he's not married now. Okay.
Well, he's not to that first marriage.
He's not to that first marriage.
Unfortunately.
Well, he's not married. He said he wasn't.
Okay, he's not married right now. So there you go. I'm telling you guys, this is a wonderful Christmas Eve gift. We want to wish Kevin a happy birthday on December the 28th. And we want to continue to just celebrate each of you. We're grateful for having you join us today. You know that at 10 o'clock we have Coffee Time with the Coach, Coach Ja, Coffee Time with the Coach Ja at 10 o'clock today. That the One Word Conversations is on hiatus. He'll be back next week. And we are grateful that you chose to spend time with us today. I am Lisa Santiago McNeill.
And I am Brian Keith McNeill.
And this has been Let's Talk About It on ESP TV 7 on the SIBN network, iHeart, iTunes, and right here on Facebook Live.
And remember that your life is not a scrimmage or a practice game. There is no Martyrs Hall of Fame. Time, the speedster, takes its toll. And for all of us, every day really is the Super Bowl. So God bless you and go forward and live your Super Bowl life today.
And remember that you are blessed by the blessor to be a blessing. Permission to be amazing is already being granted. And today is as good a day as any. So go have sex.